I just found the passage in the interview with J. Christian Adams that I want. I just found it right before this segment began. And it's behind me on the computer, and I can't turn around and read it on the computer because I got a camera here. And I don't want to look that way on the camera. So we'll get to it here in just a second. In the meantime, where we going? We'll try Dwayne in Huntington, Indiana. Great to have you on the program, sir. Hello.
Hey, Rush. It's a pleasure to talk to you.
I turned it off.
Again.
Just give it to me.
It's a pleasure to talk to you again. Thank you for taking my call. I tried to call last Friday. This is to what I consider the greater reason why all of this criminality and corruption, which hadn't even occurred, which happened in this last 24 hours, hadn't even occurred, why you will never see Eric Holder out of that office. It goes to next November. And reminder of Philadelphia 4 years ago and how he deflected, refused to pursue any corruption in voting, any intimidation, and voter fraud. And I think they're even now planning the voter fraud and intimidation for next November.
And that's why Holder won't go anywhere, because he's conducting the fraud and all that.
He's got the alligator hide to handle it.
Well, how did that work out in Wisconsin for him?
Pardon me?
How did that work in Wisconsin for him? I mean,
I know
this notion that these guys have the ability to rig and win every election, then why don't they?
Well, the thing of it is, this may be the edge that Obama is hoping to have if it gets close enough. I don't think it's going to, but if it would get close enough in some areas where they would need his protection, I think it's important to keep him in there. And I don't think they can humiliate the administration enough to get rid of him, barring criminal charges and an indictment.
Well, I'll agree with the fact that I don't think they're going to get rid of him. But this business of they got to keep Holder in there for fraud. Look, we all know that the Democrats engage in voter fraud. I mean, but the idea that they succeed at it all the time is what Bob. They don't. They'd win every election if they were this good at it. They would never lose. And of course, they do lose. Now, we know the media is not going to force Holder out, and Obama is not going to force Holder out. And Holder, I think both these guys think they are above the law by virtue of the fact that they believe they are the law. If you look at Obama, doesn't care about the Constitution. Look at what he did last Friday with immigration. Just essentially granted amnesty for certain Hispanic people. Just by executive fiat, after Congress had expressly defeated the very plan Obama said, and did it with the stroke of his pen. So I think both of these guys think that they are the law. And I think that in private they are both indignant as they can be at this insolence. How dare we? How dare ISA? How dare the Republicans come after us? How dare they? They are the closest thing in their own minds to kings and royalty that you could imagine. They have a sense of entitlement. So the reality of Holder going anywhere for the benefit of the Department of Justice, for the benefit of the country, to spare the country, it's not going to happen. I agree with you on that. I don't think that the sole reason so they could have the ultimate arbiter to look the other way at all the Obama election fraud or Democrat election fraud. Clearly, if you want to think of them that way, then Holder would be necessary. Here's thanks for the call, Dwayne. I appreciate it. Here is the question and answer. I was talking to J. Christian Adams. This is the November 2011 issue of a Limbaugh letter in the era of Limbaugh. And the question was, well, how often, Mr. Adams, do you think that Obama and Holder speak? And how often do you think Holder is told what to do by Obama? I can only assume how things work when you've got radicals like this who are totally agenda-oriented. Holder, I'm sure, can do all this on his own. He fields this stuff himself. But how often do you think that he and Obama talk? And J. Christian Adams' answer was, here is how it works. There's domestic policy advisors in the White House in the West Wing, and somebody is assigned to justice. I don't know who that person is. It's an interesting point that I might follow up on. This domestic policy advisor would be the person who lords over justice on a daily basis, talking to all the political appointees, cracking the whip, making sure that everybody's in line. That's how it works on a daily basis. Obama and Holder talk on an almost weekly basis, I think, either in national security briefings or otherwise. So there's an unbroken chain of communication between the White House and Holder. And again, it is with somebody, domestic policy advisor in the White House, assigned to justice. Obama issues decrees. That guy, the advisor, then either calls or goes over to justice and says, here's the agenda, here's the plan, cracks the whip. He made it sound like Obama and Holder really only talk once a week. So I was asking this because my curiosity about the functioning of government at the highest level is something that I've never really gotten answers to. I'm curious. Like I heard that Clinton was never off the phone. He and Lyndon Johnson, these people were on the phone constantly, issuing orders, twisting arms, whatever it takes. Now, we're told that Obama doesn't do that. The rap on Obama is that he doesn't like people. Where was this? Was this in the Atlantic or Vanity Fair, or was it the Daily Beast? Might have one of those three. Obama doesn't really like being around people. He's not crazy. He doesn't like having to answer their questions. He doesn't like giving orders. He has other people do that. He's not crazy about talking to people on the phone. But I just think of these liberals and their lives are this stuff. And I envision themselves talking about nothing else, no matter where they are. Could be a party, could be in bed, could be in the bathroom, could be at dinner. They are constantly plotting. They are constantly strategizing. And so what I was trying to figure out, how often does Obama pick up the phone and call Holder, and they get together as good friends and plot the next move and laugh amongst themselves about how much fun they're having, how much success they're having? How often does that kind of stuff happen? And there's nobody who really knows, except those two. These people marry each other. They divorce themselves and marry others just like them. They constantly talk about this stuff. They never stop talking about it. Somebody in the ACLU will be married to a Supreme Court justice. Somebody in the ACLU will be married to the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals judge. They never stop talking, never stop strategizing. Judge Hirchner, in either Hill hearings, is married to some left-wing radical guy, and they sit around and plot all the time, even in the bathroom. Shaving and everything else you can imagine going on. They're talking about this stuff, so I just want to know. But nobody knows. But I have to think they talk more than once a week. And I think they sit there and say they think they're going to get rid of us. What election?